In ancient times, vampires and humans hunted each other. The fiercest battles were in Los Angeles, in Boyle Heights area. However, several decades, a peace agreement was signed between representatives of both cancers. Vampires now live in the shadows, following a few rules. You cannot eat through violence, you cannot visit Boyle Heights, and none of the uninitiated must not know about the existence of vampires. Representatives of people, for their part, did everything to rewrite history and make humanity believe the fact that vampires are a fairy tale. In one night, all the familiar foundations of the new world will go to dust. On this night, Jay picking up his girl Maria from the laundry room. Jay, guardian of territory Boyle Heights, third generation. It was his ancestors who made the peace pact. In the car, he notices that they are chased by a Ferrari driving a sports car. Victor is a vampire who is not allowed to appear in these places. Jay is excited about the surprise encounter. The guy pulls out the Makarov gun, and as soon as the green light comes on, Jay gives by the clock and rushes to his fighters to warn of violation by vampires. He orders Maria without slowing down, "Take a car and drive to your brother's." Going indoors, Jay sees his men's drained bodies, suspended by their feet. Maria is already ready to descend. Someone breaks the car glass. On cries rushing Jay, but it's too late. From girl, left, just a pair of sneakers on high voltage wires. Main character, a simple kid named Benny, sleeping peacefully at a college lecture. The guy likes one of the classmates. However, her boyfriend constantly banters over him, exposing Benny as a loser. The hero himself lives in a poor area and moonlighting, writing coursework for students. All the money he gives to his grandmother, and what remains to spend on DJ equipment. The guy is good at this thing, and dreams of someday becoming a famous DJ. He gives up hanging out with friends to don't waste money on fun. Grandma alone raising a boyfriend, and warm relations between them. In the room we can see what he's a Naruto fan and skate lover. While making a new track, he hears, like his stepbrother, very excitedly talking on the phone. Benny is surprised to see Jay at home because he moved out of them a long time ago. Jay works at Elite Car Rental as a driver. He is in a hurry packing some things. Benny overheard his conversation on the phone and realized that Jay has urgent business in the evening and there is no one to replace him at work. Benny enthusiastically offers his candidacy, but brother is not burning with desire. Trust Elite Car teenager. Noticing that brother is collecting weapons, Jay ends up giving his brother the keys to the wheelbarrow. He's showing him the escape it, which has remote engine start installed. Since Benny is gonna work on brother's account, he should inform everyone that he is Jay. Benny happily notices that customers he needs to pick up from Beverly Hills. The kid is extremely happy to steer such an elite wheelbarrow in a suit with a needle, enjoying the swoops around the city. Benny, in the evening, arrives at a luxurious mansion on Beverly Hills. He's all on nerves, trying to look as professional as possible. A red-haired girl comes out from behind the mansion. Benny takes her for a client named Zoe Morrow, but the girl name is Blair. She's Zoe's friend. On top of Benny's excitement, girl notices what is his Zurinka unzipped. Everything else the young man does not know. What should open the door for the client? And in general, at first glance, it is clear that Benny is not oriented in the profession at all. After some time, Zoe comes out. She's gonna get mad if you don't open the door. You are right, got it. Very mannered and slightly aggressive person. Benny's task is to take the girls to 5 different parties. The main requirement is to have time before dawn. On my way to first place, girls offers Benny to play games. They ask to he did if it was his last night in life. Beauties expect some dirty fantasies from a young man. However, Benny states that he is a very decent guy and nothing extraordinary can come up with. Then Zoe offers another game. Benny struggles to act professional, but in the end does not withstand the pressure of socialites and jokes off that would kill Zoe. All the way guy looks at Blair. It's obvious that the girl likes Benny. He brings them to another posh mansion where the masquerade party is in full swing. Young man notices that everyone invited as a pass shows some amulet with a gem. Meanwhile, Jay is gathering his men. He informs that Victor broke the rules, literally declaring war thereby. Men understand that not everyone will survive this night. Waiting for girls, Benny slightly precumorial in the car. He was woken up by a cryptic scream. Getting out of the car for a breath of fresh air, a guy stumbles upon an amulet, the same one that the girls at the entrance showed. He notices that he is being grazed by some people on the van. Inside they have loaded crossbows. Girls come out with a bottle of champagne and tell the driver, get in the car, they are heading to the next party, which takes place in one of the elite hotels in the city. Along the way, girls act unhinged, taunting the guy. They stop by the underground parking lot and like last time, Benny is forced to wait for them in the car, Reba amulet in hand. He's doing economics homework when suddenly he gets distracted by Zoe's smartphone vibration, which she forgot in the car. The guy notices that she received messages from Victor. However, what alerted him. So this is their content in messages, Victor asks as Jay, and he wants to look him in the face. When something happens, excited guy calling his brother, but bumps into answering machine. He grabs Zoe's bag and is speechless, finding packs of hundreds of bills there. He's scrolling through one of the packs, and the blood from the bill falls on his face and on his shirt. Does not dive deeper into the bag and finds in the center blooded money, expensive watches, and weapons. At this time, a police officer comes to the subway and begins to inspect the contents of parked cars. Not thinking long, Benny sneaks out of the car and quickly runs into the hotel. Excited guy feels out of place. Among the luxurious decorations, he is called by the concierge. A girl shows a guy her observation. She notices a drop of blood on his shirt and already ready to call security. Benny stops her, and the concierge notices the amulet in the guy's hand. Girl immediately crumbles in apology, but Benny, realizing what, pretends that he is really the owner of the amulet. The concierge accompanies him to the elevator on the floor. However, the girl did not mean alcohol at all. Entering the room, Benny sees girls sucking two guys' blood. Zoe at flash speed rushes at guy and picks it up with inhuman power. She intends to drink his blood. However, Benny confesses what he not Jay, and his brother girlfriend is upset with this fact, but then still going to drain the guy to the bottom. Blair stops him, assuming that Benny can't bring them to Jay. At this point, one of the guys wakes up. Turns out, this whole procedure takes place on a voluntary basis. Despite the arrangement, Zoe purposely drained her boyfriend. Killing it, she confesses to a survivor what did it intentionally to destroy this hotel. She commands Blair finish the case. The guy before he dies screaming that now they will be hunted. Taking the opportunity, Benny embarks on a duck in the parking lot. He runs up to the police officer and talks about what he saw. The officer is not too surprised. He intends to take Benny away. Seeing that the cop has the trunk covered with polyethylene, guy understands that he will be taken far from the station and cop with them at the same time. Girls interrupting police officer. They bully the officer and he lets the guy go. Benny trying to send a message, but Zoe smashes his smartphone. Meanwhile, Victor in his luxurious mansion, trying on the fireplace flame, enjoys freshly squeezed cow juice. There are half-dead people in the basement of his house, from which he pumps blood, jumping for the lamp of his Ferrari. He is heading towards very important persons. Benny same sits shocked, while girls discuss their deeds mocking over their own victims. He unbuckles his belt and tries to run, but Zoe caught him, literally teleporting in front of him. Victor pulls up to the mansion, where at the entrance he is met by a healthy guard. He goes inside and misbehaves with two attractive vampires. They are amazed by his audacity. Turns out Victor works for them. They are representatives of the highest caste, and the girls are already aware of his Boyle adventures. Heights. For this, they intend to expel Victor from the city. But does the guy reply that is not going anywhere? He confesses what is going to kill the 5 leaders and take over the whole city. Busty vampire trying to call a security guard, but Victor takes out his ear with a headphone. Damn, he's like Dolph Lundgren in Universal Soldier. Well, or like Mike Tyson. In general, girls understand that they came to an end. While Zoe moved away, call Victor. Ben and Blair were left in the car alone. The girl is trying to calm the guy down. Between them, there are strings of mutual understanding, and the girl tells what are they with Zoe. Raise money from bloody clubs for Victor. Zoe and Victor are couple, and Curly, the vampire, is planning a coup tonight in order to seize power. Benny doesn't get it, and here his brother Lair says that he is the secret leader of the territory of Boyle Heights, and literally keeper of the peace agreement between vampires and humans, so Victor should kill everyone, including Jay, so as not to leave witnesses to his deeds. But Benny, his appearance in the place of Jay ruined everything. During the conversation, the couple gets a little closer. Victor talking to Zoe on the phone, they don't let the guy go. If his plan doesn't work, Beanie will lead them to Jay himself. Same Jay with his people arrives at one of the 5 bosses' mansion, in which the same masquerade party was held. They see that there was a real carnage in this house. Muchachos find the leader of this club, which for a reason incomprehensible to me, Zoe and Blair left alive. He's telling Jay, what are the Victor girls behind all this? They massacred him and drank almost all his blood. Boss asks Jay to give him some blood to recuperate. Boss tells him that girls went to Club 3 Kings, after which Jay and assistant shoot the boss. Meanwhile, stoned vampires with boyfriend wobbling around in one of the supermarkets. Zoe says Benny that he liked Blair, and under the Paris she attacks the seller. But Blair doesn't let her kill the poor fellow. All Trinity heading to Club 3 Kings. At the entrance, Benny is noticed by his bandmates. Benny! Guys ask him to take them to the club. Then that kid, who always banter over Benny, says. Intimidated guy replies, that can't hold them. And the guys start wildly gobbling over Benny. Blair decided. Raise the status of a guy in the eyes of his bandmates. She walks up to Benny and kisses him passionately. That Benny swam from such an act. Blair, and head over heels, fell in love with the girl. Trinity walks into the boss office and stumbles upon a Night Legion representative named Caleb. Night Legion is people who kill vampires who broke the rules. Meanwhile, Jay, with his brigade, stays in the same club from the black entrance, and for all kind bride pass inside in search of Blair. Isaiah Caleb says girls, what a violation, and he is ready for the death penalty. They are surrounded by other representatives of the Night Legion, and as soon as Caleb, already ready to deal with criminals, Benny suddenly for everyone breaks a bottle of champagne against the head of a legionnaire. Caleb is losing consciousness since he's not a paratrooper, but girls successfully split with other representatives. Night Legion. Trinity takes her feet out of the club. However, Jay notices them and intends to catch up with his brother. He gets stopped by a security guard, and Jay, without thinking twice, plunges a knife into his heart. Why vampires turn to dust in front of their eyes. Girls ask Benny to find shelter for them. At this point, other legionnaires start firing at them. Guys jump in the car and give on the gases. Zoe, under the influence of adrenaline, sticks her head out of the window and starts howling like a werewolf. Jay wants to chase them, but he is stopped by the leader of the Night Legion. She offers a guy to join their ranks, for he can't handle a crowd of vampires. Jay doesn't want to work for anyone and responds. He only wants to kill Victor. The girl gives him a token in case if he changes his mind. Benny brings girls to Granny. She's scared by the sudden appearance of guests. Benny never brought a girl's house, and hearing one night at once too, she notices that they don't look like female students. Blair helps Benny rewind his injured hand. At this time, Zoe is talking to Victor on the phone. How scared is she? Girl was not expecting that her life will be in the balance, and she will be hunted by everyone, from Legion to Jay. She asks to reschedule the murder. Last boss for the next night, but Victor insists till she finish the case now. He promises to take care of Jay. Meanwhile, Jay with the guys stops that same corrupt cop. He says boyfriend that Victor wants to meet him and will be waiting for him at Rosapura restaurant. At this time, Benny and Blair are getting to know each other closer and closer. A guy talks about his dream, conquer the world with your tracks, which BTW liked Blair. Well, Blair shares that she was a tramp in the 70s, and Zoe turned her and gave her unlimited freedom. Since then, they are very close with Za. As sisters, however, the youthful immediacy of the guy, she really like it. From kissing them is distracted by Zoe, which tells to nominate. Blair tries to convince her to let the guy go, because they no longer need him. But Benny got attached to Blair and himself ready to follow the girls. Jay comes to meet Victor, tasting roasted steak. Victor confesses that everything is over and the whole city will be his. He killed all the Jay people and he last. Jay is ready to sacrifice himself and asks to let go Benny and Maria. However, Victor is not bowed. In response, Jay pierces Victor's head with a bullet, but he fails to seize the moment and stick a knife in your heart. While the bullet hole in Victor's head tightens, like Wolverine, he says he killed Maria and made her a steak, just the one he is eating at the moment. Our Trinity is coming to the last boss of Rock. It's a freaky guy, which has a special flair. The vampire is a little wary of Zoe's sudden appearance. Turns out, Zoe and Roca dated back in the days of Reagan. To put the vigilance of the blonde to sleep, Zoe starts flirting with him, and Blair and Benny go to the yard. Peel near the pool, where the couple finally left alone, starts to dissolve in a romantic relationship. Roca meanwhile offers Zoe to remember the old days. While he pours the drink, Zoe takes out a dagger and pounces on the guy. However, the flair of the freak did not fail. He calculated all her actions. His people surround Zoe and the carnage on the street begins. Benny and Blair are gaining momentum. Blair rushes to the rescue of Zoe, but Benny runs into the car. Wait for the girls. Blair and Zoe run out, but they get attacked by the Night Legion. Zoe cleverly catches crossbow bolt with her rib cage to help girls out. Benny knocks one legionnaire to death. With hard work, they manage to get away from the Night Legion again. However, Zoe is badly injured and she urgently needs blood. The dawn is approaching. Benny's bring them to their last destination. This is Victor Blair's mansion, telling Benny to leave sooner, until Zoe is able to stop him. But the guy is not going to drop his brother. When the girls are gone, he parks the Cadillac across from the mansion windows and sneaks into the basement. He finds Jay in a glass box. In trying to free brother, Benny turns out to be caught. Victor brings him to the hall. Zoe starts bantering over the guy. Young man tries to kill Victor for what gets in the groin from Zoe. Blair stands up for the poor fellow, what makes Victor very angry. Zoe trying to reason with her close friend, realizing what kind of words. Victor will just kill a rebellious girl, but Blair stands her ground and protects Benny. Victor gives Zoe a knife, and she is forced to stab her friend in the stomach. Benny remotely starts car engine and hike them there on Wise with the installation of Whitefish, because the Cadillac successfully started. Despite standing at speed, car punches window and sun rays kill Zoe. Using Jay as bait, Victor lures Benny into a dark corner, where attacking him and biting into his neck. Half alive, Blair perforates Victor's back with a knife. Jay, in the best traditions of quarterback, knocks down Victor and he burns under the sun. Injured Blair needs blood to don't die, but Benny medical care, so Blair gives him a drink from his wrist, initiating the treatment procedure. It sucks itself to his neck. After some time, Jay, yearning for Maria, is seriously thinking about joining the ranks. Night Legion. but Benny turned into a vampire. Jay asks his brother not to forget his roots because he is counting on his help when the city plunges into chaos. Evening Benny looks at, once attracted to his girlfriend in the reading room, but now she is nothing more than food on the street. The bully walks up to Benny and is interested. Where did he go after that incident at the club? Then offers to hang out sometime together. Blair pulls up to Benny on Victor's Ferrari in Natasha novel style and takes Benny on his dark, bloody business. I hope you appreciate my efforts. Well, if you subscribe, then I will generally come into a real shock of happiness. Thanks for watching. All hugged. Until soon. Meetings.